It's like a pizza crunch without the batter. It's like the wood juice without the water. You'll never get the knickers I found. What a fucking chance. Premeditated batter. Premeditated batter.
Welcome to Premeditated Patter. It's good to see you. It's good to have my wee camera set in front of us. You just can't see it now. I've actually spent about 500 quid in camera accessories this week. So I use a Lumix GH5. See, those of you that don't use cameras or anything like that, it'll just be mumbo jumbo. For those of you who do know, Lumix GH5 is the model. If anybody's seen me about, it's the big fucking black piece of equipment that you could easily skull fuck somebody if they try to rob you. But I recently got a few upgrades for it. I got what's called a cage. It's an attachment that fits around the camera. And what that does, so basically you get like wee shelves almost, where on top of the camera you have a monitor, so you'll be able to slot it into this wee shelf. On the camera you've only got one. So I wanted to get a microphone, which would enhance the audio quality. It means, because I use wireless mics to record stuff, but sometimes you just need that extra bit of backup. Because if it can, technology will fail you. Anybody that gets into any content creation or anything like that, just be prepared. It's not a negative way of thinking, it's just the way it is. So I got this cage, and it came with what's called a horseshoe. So it's basically a bar, fits along the top. So it basically gives you better stability. I bought a wee handle that comes at the side as well. And I also got what's called a focus pull thing. So basically you've got like a lens in the front of it that basically gets your image in focus. So when you're looking at me, it looks crystal clear. And if you look at previous podcasts, it looked like some cunt had farted in a bath. That's because I didn't have a fucking clue how to really work the camera. Shout out Kyle McGuinness for Production House for teaching me the tricks of the trade. So I've managed to figure the camera out to a degree, and it's a learning curve as well. And I know probably not the best thing to say I've got a production company, but the great thing about having a production company, I'm essentially getting paid to get better at my job, get better at what I love doing. I realise if you've watched my podcast last week, I talked about my Alaska experience, how I saw myself as a legendary filmmaker. There was that inclination to get into filmmaking and storytelling and that, and now it's solidified like that, right, that's the direction to go. And I just breathe a creative life into things. It's like I'm more than a videographer, because I write scripts. I've got that creative wit. You know what I mean? If you've watched my sketches and that, I can structure a story. You know what I mean? A really good fibber in my time, but no. It's great. It's honest to God. And see, as I say, I spent about 500 quid. I got a camera stand, so basically, it's crazy. See, the stand alone was like 140 quid. You know what I mean? It's like with the accessories, they were about 250. That was really like a £20 discount. Don't get me wrong, I'm more than happy to pay it. It's like I don't feel doing 400 quid or whatever. It's like it's an investment. And if you're like me, you always look at these things like 400 quid. Oh fuck it, I'd have been £4,000. No, no, I mean, see if you're at it. That's the way you can base all your spending on. It's like 80 quid. I spent 40 quid in a month here. That's $500,000. But the thing is, see if you look at gear, right? How many times has somebody been like that, right? You've been on it, you're like looking for a bit of gear, somebody's like 100 quid. You're like, geez it. Without a second's hesitation, without a consultation process, without any of that shit, you've took it before they've even finished the sentence. For the most part, you've ticked it. And I think the tick part plays a big part, because you're like, right, I'll take it now and worry about it later. It's like drug dealer Klarna. But what was Klarna for me when I did eventually pay, because I would give them it installments. But see if you look at a mattress, for instance, I remember I got a mattress a few years ago. My back was fucked. Somebody pumped a bird on a period in my bed, fucked the mattress, destroyed it, and my back was fucked. I had to get a mattress, and it was like 110 quid, and I was like, fucking bit steep, fucking mattress. Like, when you look at that, right, 110 quid for something I'm going to sleep on. I'm going to sleep in that probably every night for the next 10 years. It's definitely worth the money. No, I mean, that's what for that's like a tenner a year. But back when it was £100 a gram, not even a second's fucking hesitation, and as I say, no thought process. It's just crazy, innit? So, the camera equipment, and I need to buy a camera bag. It's when you buy these things, it's like, if you ever get into filmmaking, any kind of thing like that, it opens up a can of worms in terms of the stuff you can get. Don't get me wrong, as I say, I could be spending my money in much worse things, so I'm grateful to do it. But today, I want to share a wee piece, man. So since I've come back for doing ayahuasca, the first week I felt fresh as fuck. I felt really good. I've had a lot of intentions. But I think I've done a tendon in my ankle or a ligament or something, because it happened a few days before I flew out to Barcelona. I had this wee niggle. It was like in my ankle area, but it was like for stretching I would feel it, and a bit like a wee ooh. But it wasn't anything noticeable. And I ended up jumping on the treadmill after a workout, and I felt it coming on, like, oh, it was flaring up. But I was like, all right, I had like a minute left of the round I was doing, so I was doing rounds on the treadmill. And I was like, all right, I'll finish the round. So I finished it, and I've been limping since. So when you go on holiday, you know what it's like when you go abroad? You're fucking walking everywhere, right? So and I was wearing, see, like I don't know if they're called platforms, see, they kind of trainers. I got them at a Zara. They're more like, see, like shell toes. I did the shell toes, that kind of style of shoe, which aren't great. It's no, what I mean, they're quite solid sole and that. It's just no great for walking about in constantly. So I was there. Plus as well, like, as I say, I really need to work out in my life. I go bipolar. I take mad mood swings and all that if I don't train. So when I was in Barca, I was trying to do circuits and stuff like that. I think I done a circuit one day, and that way it was painful, my ankle, but I just pushed through it. Then I came back, went for a wee boxing PT and that, and I still felt it, and it was just like, fucking, it was still there, but I was just trying to train through it. And then I think Monday there, I got up and I couldn't put weight on it. It was like fucking hell, man, limping about. And it's been like that since. Right now, this is, the day of recording is, I'll break that wee barrier. It's Friday. I know it's Sunday to you, but right now it's Friday. So even the day, man, I'm like, this isn't getting any better. So I'm like, maybe this is a tear or something, but it's that way. You're constantly on your feet. You can't avoid standing up. So that's a really thing. It's like, see, my fucking heat is haywire at times, man. The gym really helps me settle that. I bleat on about how I go to the gym for my mental health. It's times like this that I realise how instrumental this is in keeping me sane. Seriously, it keeps me close to sanity. I want to say I'm totally sane, but we'll just go with that. But the thing is as well, because I like to eat good, but see, when I'm no training, I always end up eating shite because I feel as if there's nothing to eat good for. And I had this realisation earlier that the reason why I think I eat shite, because I can't, when I go to the gym, I get these endorphins released. It's a drug. It's something I chase. It settles my mind, settles my emotions. And there's chemicals that are actually in your muscle tissue. When I exercise, they release these chemicals, and it's like your body's natural antidepressant. So when I'm not able to really exercise, I'm not getting that mental stimulation. So what I think is, when I go and eat shite, I'm looking for that. It's kind of like when I use drugs. That was that stimulation, so I didn't need to focus on any passions. I didn't need to go to the gym because I was getting that. It's almost as if that way, that craving for stimulation needs satiated. And I've just kind of had that realisation earlier. But I want to touch on a topic, jealousy, right? I'm one jealous bastard. Seriously, man. And I don't know if it's apparent, but I will be honest, I'm quite a jealous guy. And don't get me wrong, in recent years, I've really managed to kind of reframe my perspective on it. Because before, I'm going back a while now, right? You know what I mean? And when I functioned at a lower level of consciousness, so to speak, when I look back, I used to be quite envious of people, to the point where I'd resent people, maybe if somebody had more than me, or if they were going with a nice looking bird or stuff like that. I just think I was very resentful. There's times I'm still resentful today, but I've developed a lot of tools in order to manage it. If somebody was maybe doing better than me, and that I used to get really jealous of that. If I was out with somebody it used to happen with Ravy, right? When I was out with Ravy, he'd get recognised and I didn't. I'd get pure jealous and all that. This is a few years ago, right enough. But in the past few years, I've really learned how to manage that. Like, I'm a lot more accepting. I'm like the way I look at things now, if somebody's doing well, I'm like, good for them. Because end of the day, see if you're jealous, if you're wishing, and there's one thing, jealous is a natural human emotion. You're human. I remember reading somewhere, being human is a courageous act. See, these emotions, they come. Just be at peace with them. Don't try and fight it. It's actions that's what define our behaviour. So with the jealousy kind of thing, and a way I look at it, it's like it shows you're passionate. At least if you're jealous about a bird, it shows you're interested in her. If you're jealous about somebody doing better than you, it means it shows you're passionate about what you're doing. But there's one thing being jealous, because everybody does get a bit jealous. If you see your pal gets a great opportunity, if you're in that arena, and you look and you go, I fucking wish it was me. But then at the same time, you're like, congratulations, pat in the back, my time will come, well done, mate. Because it's that way. It's like the law of attraction. The way to look at it is, say if we're using this analogy, like if somebody gets a great opportunity and you wish it was you, rather than going like that, he doesn't deserve that, they don't deserve that, it's going like that. Think of the emotions you would feel if you'd been given that opportunity. And that's the kind of way to attract and manifest this stuff into your life. So that's the kind of perspective I've adopted when it comes to things like that. And as I say, I've been a lot more accepting of people, and it's an insecurity, and it's feeling like I'm not enough. But what I've experienced recently, I've been seeing a lassie, and I'm going to go deep, and it's like, listen, I bear out of the camera. You know what I'm talking about? There's many reasons to it. The number one reason is I see this is like my visual therapy. Like the past few days I've felt rough mentally. And I do get them. I'm in one of the kind of low moods. My diet's not been great. I've not been getting to the gym. And I'm going to go into another reason. But I don't hide away from it. You know what I mean? It's like, as I say, I bear all to the camera. You are watching this, how many, if there's thousands of you, whatever, man, there's a good couple of 100 at least. And I feel for yourselves, man, see problems. All our problems are unique to us, but they aren't unique problems. So let me explain. How I experience a problem, whatever my problem may be, that is a unique experience to myself. I am experiencing this. If we go jealousy, I'm jealousy at a female, whatever. But the thing is, that is such a common problem for people. But what we find is we get trapped in that way of thinking where we think, oh, this is only me, it feels like this. I'd imagine, dare I say most of us, a lot of us think that way, and you go down that way, like, there must be something wrong with me. I shouldn't be thinking like this. And this is why, for me, I'm comfortable expressing the good times, the bad times, because it gives people like yourselves that may not be confident enough to open up, that may be sheltering away these emotions, these feelings, these experiences. It makes you realise, wait a minute, it's okay to feel like this. And also, there are ways to manage it. So, I haven't seen a lassie, right? And nice lassie, really, really sound. But she's got a good few guy pals, which is fine. I've not got an issue with that. But she's partly with a guy, and to be honest, I've not felt too good about it. Let's just say that. I feel as if they're just a bit too strangely close. That's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not going to go into the intricate details of why I think that, because I accept I'm adding my own thinking into this equation. But there's also, she admits herself, if the roles were reversed, she would think it was a bit strange. So, I'm at the stage now, I'm kind of like, wait a fucking minute here. Like, I need to kind of address this. Not to the point, and I would hate to be one of the people, and I refuse to be one of the people that become pure possessive. Nah, you know. You see them on fucking TikTok, not these guys These insecure crybabies. And I'll name Andrew Tate, probably one of the worst, right? He's probably one of the most famous, man. The man screams insecurity. And it's like, don't get me wrong, the stuff he says about discipline is bang on. The guy has got quite a great mindset in certain areas. When it comes to women, it just screams insecurity. This driving the big motors and all that kind of stuff, fighting guys he can clearly batter in his living room. It's overcompensating. You try to make yourself look higher, better, whatever, and it's all right we try to make yourself look good or wanting to make yourself perceived to look good. You know, right, to wear nice clothes, this and that. When you're being braggadocio about it, it just shows me that you're trying to make up for something that you feel is lacking. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's funny when you see all these men and these boys that pure look up to him, this beating a hope. It's like you're idolising an insecure guy. It's like, it's okay to be insecure. A lot of people are. There's probably more insecure people than there are secure people. I would say a small fraction of people are naturally secure. I've met a few people that are. And you usually find, see, these people are naturally secure. They've grown up. And I'm not saying this is the case for all of them, but in my experience, I've met people that've grown up. They've not really suffered from many adverse childhood experiences. More often than not, their mum and dad were together during their adolescence. They never experienced much adversity. You know what I mean? And maybe there was, I'm not saying there wasn't any challenging times of that, but for the most part, they never came from broken homes, broken situations. And which is a good thing. I'm not slating them for it, but that's where I just kind of, because when I look at a lot of people, and insecurity is a broad spectrum, right? You can be insecure about your weight, your looks, your finances, your strength, your skills, your weaknesses. It's like a lot of insecurity stems for aesthetics, for how you look, for how you're perceived. And I think what that stems for is there's a couple of things it stems for. If you want to go back through history, in ancient times when people were part of tribes, when humanity was a much smaller percentage of the population, obviously, that sounds like a fucking far-winded way of saying it. When there was a lot less people on the earth, right, when we were in tribes, the thing is, you had to be accepted by your tribe. If you weren't accepted by your tribe, you were outcast. See, to be outcast in those times meant you'd need food, you'd need water, you'd need shelter, you'd need protection. You would slowly but surely die. I say slowly, you'd probably die quite quickly, because you'd probably get eaten by a fucking woolly mammoth or something. But the thing is, see this kind of stuff, and this is like, we might be going back thousands and thousands of years, but this thing's carried through our DNA into the present day. And when you look at when you go into school, when I went to primary school, I was a free spirit. Didn't care what anybody thought of me. I played Yu-Gi-Oh cards, played Beyblades. Up into P7, I played Yu-Gi-Oh. I was buzzing about it. Went into first year, man, that all changed. The innocence was taken away from me. Suddenly, I was a target. I was picked on, I was slagged, I was punched, fucking battered and all that. Just for standing out, because I always stood out. I was always tall, skinny, white. And I say white, I mean chalk white. So at that point, and plus you're going through puberty, like for me as a guy, I'm saying this, the experience, you start taking an interest in lassies, and you want lassies to be interested in you, but when you're the target, or we use the term bullying, or getting bammed up, you're like the pure bottom rung of the ladder, you're the bottom of the food chain. Nobody's really interested in you. Your pals at the time or don't want to be seen with you and all that kind of stuff, and you're almost outcast. That's where a lot of insecurities are bred into us, or stamped into us, or engraved into us. And it's funny. See something that happens in your childhood, your adolescence, see something so fucking simple. It's like it puts it in a pressure cooker, an emotional pressure cooker. And then when you reach 20, 30, this thing is fucking blown up out of proportions, and it becomes your behaviour. But you struggle to identify it. Like, even today, not this day, but in the modern day, I look at some things I do, some what ways I approach things mentally, just the way certain aspects of my behaviour, I look at it. And I don't know if this is self-awareness, I don't know if this is maturity, I don't know if this is recovery, I don't know why, right? But I catch myself and I stop and I think, why do I think like that? Why am I suddenly judging this person that stood up to tell me something? Or why am I at this recovery meeting and somebody shares a point about their life and I think, I cringe. Where are these feelings coming from? So it's able to kind of take a step back. It's almost it's a learning to unlearn process. It's quite complex. But see, the thing is, you look at like this emotion, jealousy. For me, anyway, I know there's people that aren't really too affected by it. And let me tell you, I've been affected by it badly. And I don't say that as if it's an illness or anything like that. But let's just say my reaction to jealousy in the past has been quite volatile. It's been quite toxic. It's been quite poisonous. I like to think at this stage I've managed to kind of settle any of these negative thoughts, negative behaviours, but I'm still a work in process. And that's the thing about being a work in process, right? See, right now, as it stands, me, you, anybody watching this is the best version of yourself to ever exist in your lifetime. God, Allah, Buddha, the creator, whatever the fuck you believe in, science, your mom and dad, whoever created you, this is the best version they aim to create. But see, with that, right, there's also work to be done in my case. There's a lot of things I'm like, I need to work on that. You're always a work in process. The job is never done. You can look at that for two angles. You can look at that as if that way I'm never going to get better, I'm never enough. Or you can look at that, I'm amazing right now. I've came a long, 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 long way. But look how much better I can become. Look at my potential I can achieve. It's a recovery thing, right? But I think this can really transcend into anybody's life. See, when you're confronted with a challenging situation, whether it be with your girlfriend, with their housing, with any challenging situation that you need to approach, that you need to deal with, and you're unsure about how to proceed, some great advice my sponsor gave me, and I even today, I was trying to think with this method, what would your higher self do in this situation? So take the best version of yourself. Does it know in a mood? You woke up, spring your step, the world is glorious, the sun is shining, the best version of you. And I know right now is the best version of you, but take your highest self, you're operating at your highest level of consciousness. What would they do? And with that, it does help give you a new perspective on how to deal with things. Don't get me wrong, it's not a miracle solution. There's a lot of work to be done. But somebody else, I think it was my sponsor that said as well, another great piece of advice he always give me great advice. He said, break the cycle. And that's the thing, the story doesn't need to keep repeating itself, where you start seeing a lassie, you get jealous, you fall out with her, you patch her, you burn everything to the ground, and you're back to square one. That doesn't need to keep repeating. You can break the cycle. How do you counteract ego? You counteract it with humility. Pull your head out your own arse, is what I'm trying to say. Get over yourself. That's what I'm talking about. We all know many, many expressions, but I'm sure you get the gist. What is key in these situations, in my situation I'll cite right now, communication is key. See, in the past, see if I ever took a resentment with somebody, if somebody pissed me off, I would just stop talking to them. And I would just cut them out my fucking life like that. People hadn't pals with me for years, and just cut them out, block them on Facebook, deal with that, and just no speak to them. And it was a fucking shite bag thing to do, really, because I didn't want to confront it. And the thing is, what could have been resolved quite amicably, quite easily, became something to the point where the day, or some friendships I've had that'll never be repaired. There's some people I walk by in the street, it's awkward and all that, and it's like, a conversation would have solved that. I'm not saying these would have been pals again, these would have kissed and made up, but a line would have been marked out, know what I mean? Like a kind of, so that's the thing. Plus as well, see, like jealousy, these emotions, right, is natural and human they are to have. See if you contain that, it's like air. See air inside a tyre, air. It's seamless. You touch it, it flows, it goes, it does whatever the fuck you want with it. It's got no power. In here, this is air, but there's no stopping me doing nothing, is it? But you put that air in a tyre and you seal it. Suddenly that air is fucking rock solid. That air's causing damage if it hits you. You know what I mean? It's compact. Personally, I feel these emotions that affect us are like air inside a tyre. You keep it in, you're keeping that air inside the tyre. It's more air, it's going to pop. But you breathe, you let that air out, speak it out, converse. Suddenly, air just becomes air. And whilst I done ayahuasca, I get this random thought. And the thought was, see resentment. Resentment is like a gun with two barrels pointed in opposite directions. When you fire that gun of resentment at your pal, your mom, your dad, your bird, anybody, fire it at them, you also get a shot fired back at you. And that's what I realised about my life. I took resentments with people and I never spoke to them again, or I behaved in certain ways in order to, I don't know, get them back or whatever. That was only hurting the two of us. Where does it lead you? Nowhere good. Up fucking Shits Creek without any paddle, up no man's land, into the Sahara without a bottle of Evian. Should get a sponsor off these French cunts, know what I mean? But that's the thing. It's like, speak it out, man. Because see, once you speak something out, it loses its power over you. This situation I'm talking about now, I'm still yet to speak this, and I'm gonna. The only reason why I've not spoke it is because the lassie's still at work. The last thing I want to do is bring this shit up while she's at work, because when you're at work, you're dealing with shit, and you're like, fucking, it's like, that way. I know once it starts getting spoken about, it's going to lose a lot of the weight that it's holding right now. But see, even speaking to this camera, I'm feeling it's losing the weight. I feel lighter already. I feel better. And that's the main thing. And I honestly encourage you to do the same thing. The idea is, if you're doing it to a camera, so if you do it to a mirror, there is a receiver to a degree. Just because you film it on camera doesn't mean you need to post it anywhere. Nobody's got to see it. You can film it and delete it. But I would really encourage you, if there's any like resentments you've got, any situations, just any kind of emotions that are really tying you down, that could really be solved with just a chat. And take it for a guy that never used to chat. I could talk, but I never used to talk to. You know what I'm talking about? So, take it for me. I mean, this channel is just shy of 10,000 subscribers. It gets thousands of views per podcast. So, if I can tell all yous cunts about my business, I'm sure you can tell yourself. And tell the person that's been affected. Because see, once you realise that you don't need to sit on these emotions, because if you sit on them, it's like a microwave. The longer it's in, the hotter it's going to get. And that wee micro meal that you've got in there, that wee micro meal of jealousy, of resentment, of anger, of self-pity, it's fucking going to blow. There's no escaping it. So, control how you want it to be distributed. Don't hold it in, because if you hold it in, it'll affect your behaviour. And see if you're ending like me, I can't hold my water for fucking shit. See if I've got an issue and I try and hold it, I can feel my mood changing to the point I'm up, I'm down, I'm everywhere. See now, I feel a release speaking to yourselves. And what I know the funny thing as well, she'll probably see this. That's why I'm not too bothered about her seeing it because she's got to have the conversation. But anyway, it doesn't even matter a fuck who sees it. But I hope you see it. And I hope you take something for this. Whatever situation you're in, it doesn't need to be a negative one. Maybe either have a conversation with somebody you love. A bit of appreciation, gratitude. There's a flip side to that coin. Don't see this as a negative gateway. And as I say, these emotions aren't negative. You know what I mean? Jealousy, anger, resentment. These are human emotions. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with being human. Being human is a courageous act. Remember it. Please take these words and take them about your day. Just realised this is coming out on Sunday. It's my birthday, technically, the day. 32 years old, man. So, saying that, I've came a long way. I definitely have. And I've got a long way to go. But right now, I'm grateful for where I am. So I'm going to be grateful for the present moment. And I'm going to wish you good luck and good fortune. And a pair of buzz. Go open your mouth. Nah, I'm joking. I wish you faith. But it's been a pleasure speaking to you again, people. Hope you have a blessed Sunday. I'll catch up with you next week. Like, subscribe, and don't get wide. Catches.